Hello and welcome back to another episode of Supercoach Insider. My name is Ben.
And I'm Chris.
And thank you for joining us. This is Chris's team progression for round 5 reveal.
Yeah, it's my team progression.
But before we go on, you can like, subscribe, do all that business you need to do on the YouTube, SC Insider 100 on all our other platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, you name it. Audio platforms as well for our audio podcast, Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Podcast, Stitcher, TuneIn, you name it. Get amongst us. And we also take beer donations.
We do. We definitely take the beer donations. There is actually that website. We should get involved with that. It's Buy Me a Beer or whatever. We should totally do that.
Buy us a beer.
Or just DM us because we're that cool.
That's how we do it. Chris, tell us about your team. What are you ranked? You need to go and look at your ranking and your scores for this week.
I don't need to look at this. No, I'm ranked fairly well without being...
Show them. Where's the proof? Hit home.
Oh, yeah,
AFL
hit home. That's right, yeah. So I had a weekly score of 2,286, which was pretty good. I had a couple of... so I didn't have Chapman on field. I had... who did I have on field instead?
Look at Caleb, miniguns, Daniel.
There's no miniguns about that. There's nothing... There's a lot of mini... There's no guns.
Mini-me. Taunting everyone. As soon as they log into Supercoach, they see Caleb Daniel front and centre. Sorry,
right.
Chris.
Well, I had Jordan Clark on field instead of Chapman, so I lost about 30 points there. And I had a few little places where I lost a little bit of points. But overall, pretty good score. Obviously ranked for the week, 234th. And the season rank is pushed into 340. So it's very tight at the top, might I say, because there's not really much. We were, 3 points difference last week? So
it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
Oh, wait. Rock and roll, sorry. So, yeah, this is my trade position. So, right now, I haven't done any trades. That's weird. So, I've got 25 trades. I don't know why it's saying that. Oh, maybe I'd speak. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it didn't save my thing. And so, yeah, Inter was ranked 340th. Pretty happy with that. Actually, very happy with that, especially considering my team right now. What I did last week, obviously, was I slightly corrected my team, I should say. And I bring in... Who did I bring in?
Chapman?
I bring in Chapman. So, there's that one trade that I did last week is I bring in Chapman. And that...
Bring in or brought in?
Brought in. Now... I was umming and ahhing about this all week because I was like, no, I think Cozzy's going to come back. I think Highmore plays again. I don't need him because I've got Clark that I can play there and I can play Berry on field. Bringing in Chapman was easily the best decision of my week. I didn't have him on field, unfortunately, so I didn't get his score. But now being able to play him at D6 with that reliability, I definitely think he's a fieldable rookie option. Allows me now to put Clark on field in midfield, and then I can bench Jordan and Berry. Like, Berry, good, but both these guys are capped at what, 50 to 60?
Sorry, this is the first time I've laughed at a pun that I don't think was intended. Berry, good.
I didn't do that. Yeah, I definitely didn't do that.
You didn't do that.
Unfortunately, Mitchell obviously was a little bit of a letdown with his 82 at halftime and then whatever.
I've emailed Chapman, Chris, to see if he's going to shave his head like the true informer Chapman. Is he going to win a premiership?
Well, potentially. With a shaved head, he probably would. That's what Freo are missing. 30 years in the league, no premierships, but if Chapman shaves his head...
They're too young at Fremantle. No one has a shaved head. Who's got a shaved head?
Who's the enforcer?
Is it Bewley? Does Bewley have a shaved head, maybe?
I don't know.
Not a full shave.
He's not even the 22, the guy.
If you're not the 22,
could be the issue.
You don't count.
If he was playing, then they would win the premiership.
Yeah, if you're out of the 22, you don't count.
So obviously, loving my defense, I got lucky. I kind of feel like this. I didn't play Daniel. I didn't start Daniel. I didn't start Stewart. Both have underperformed. And in their place, I started Houston and Doherty. Houston, I was kissed on the fucking dick with. 100% because I started...
Not by me.
I was starting Luke McDonald, and with his laid out 5 minutes before... the game,
you were.
I found out. I was like, oh, shit, I've got one option. I might as well go Daniel Houston. I did have Bose as an option, but I would never have gone with Bose.
No,
I probably would have gone with Duggan.
You were not only lucky, but then the fact that McDonald comes back, plays one game, does his
gets a 3. Mr. 3, my lord.
Mr. 3. Does a pectoral and then gone again. You are...
I'm very lucky.
That's not even period related. That's like in for 1 and out for 15. That's
Right.
horrible. That's like a...
So obviously with the way my team's set up right now, I obviously have Rory Laird here. Now, my plan really is to get Whitfield at that D6 position. I may even play Laird there the entire season. I'm not sure yet. There's a lot to play out, but I definitely want Whitfield. I think that the rules suit him this year. And if he gets kickouts and he's a guy that's going to be averaging 120...
So you think Whitfield's playing deep?
I think he plays deep defense, and we just don't know yet. And so this is why I don't want like a guy like I have the option this week. If I really, really wanted to, I could get Giath in, and I was like, do I really want to upgrade to a Giath? Because it's only 100k from Clark, right? So I could go down to Waterman, Clark up to Giath, and then I could fill out my defense if he was premium. I'm just not 100% sold on Giath, and the reason is, there's two things that worry me, three things that worry me. First of all, he's still a rookie. He's still a rookie. Obviously, he's learning the game. He makes mistakes a lot. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of what he does is amazing. A lot of what he does burns the team 100%. He turns the ball over and it's cost them a goal. And it's happened, I reckon, 2 to 3 goals a game at this point.
I wonder if Clarko's like, hey, so I want you to chip it sideways to get no ground. He's like, fuck you, I'm running. And then he's like, oh, so I want you to run and take it on. He's like, fuck you, I'm kicking.
He's got one thing going for him. His name is not Sam Frost. That guy cost the team like going out of fashion. I hate him as a user. I reckon he reminds me of Jack Frost. Are they brothers? I don't know. Like when they played at Collingwood, it's like they just leave him open in a pocket somewhere because they want him to have the ball so that he's the one that kicks it. That's all that they want. And so I think the same thing happens with Sam Frost. It's like, oh, we'll wait till he gets the ball because we know he's the worst kick in the AFL, and then we'll turn the ball over and we'll go from there. Unfortunately, Giat does a couple of those things, so it's really annoying. And so, and the third thing is Gunston. What happens with Gunston when he comes back? He's going to be coming back in the next, 2 to 3 weeks, and he probably plays VFL first week or whatever, and then comes back in.
Hang on. Are you thinking Gunston might actually go back into defence?
Yes.
Ooh, that's interesting. He's done it before when Sicily was...
like people who say Gunston's not going to go in defence. Have you seen Gunston play football the last 4 years?
He's done it before when Sicily...
at defence.
When Sicily's been out, he's been in defence. And I thought of him as a forward, but I guess if you've got Cozzy and Lewis and...
Tim O'Brien,
maybe they go, fuck it.
Here's the thing. So I personally think that his best position is third tall forward, right? But having said that, what does Clarko think? I don't know. Where does he want to do?
But is Gunston third tall forward? If Gunston goes
inconsequential to those players right now because he's not going to be in their next premiership window.
He's not. But if Gunston goes forward, is he third tall, or does someone go, oh, Gunston's more damaging than Lewis, Cozzy, and everyone else?
And he is, but
we'll go manage.
They want to develop their tools. Like he's already said, I want to play Cozzy and Lewis. I want to play those guys. He wants to get O'Brien like to a level of AFL football, right? So where's the best place to play Gunston on the field? So is he going to play third tall or is he going to play behind the ball?
I think
they've got Blake
O'Brien.
Hardwick, which O'Brien's
going to be cutting glass for his life, Chris.
Well, I'll be honest with you. If it's me making the decision, I'm playing him third tall because I don't like O'Brien at all.
O'Brien.
I don't like. Oh, that was a pun.
How'd you not see that? O'Brien cutting glass.
But I personally don't like Tim O'Brien. I think he's overrated as a footballer and I don't like him. I do like Cozzy and I do like Lewis. So those guys have to play. And then it's, okay, so who are we playing as a third tall between those guys? And the thing that goes against Gunston is his flexibility. So if we play him behind the ball, he's 100% taking Giath out of that equation. But do they want to develop Giath? And I think Clarko's got his own way of doing things. So it's too early for me to say that it's not going to have an impact. That I want to bring him in with that risk. It's just that the risk to me is too high at this. If it was 4 weeks ahead and I could see that he's not playing behind the ball, I'd be like, yep, 100% Giath's the one I want. But no one's really highlighted the fact that Gunston could come back and play behind the ball. No one said that.
No, no one has.
So I just
And Clarko's the old school bloody Bevan, really.
Bevan.
Bevo.
Bevo, yes. He's Magneto Volume 2. Anyway, so that's what I've thought. Now, in terms of, so I'm going to probably leave Laird there for a little bit. We'll see how that goes. I'm happy with Walsh. I'm happy with Taranto. My targets in midfield are Neil, Steele, and Oliver. Oliver's the first one. My trades this week are looking to be like this. So the reason I'm trading Jordan is, first of all, his break even is 47. Now, he could hit that, he could not. He might lose a bit of cash, but it does reset. You've got to wait till this score drops out of his cycle, which is a 23. So if you're going to hold him, you're going to have to hold him for 2 to 3 weeks before he...
At least.
Yeah, to make more money. And I think...
Really,
250 is
3
realistic.
weeks it drops out. So
Yeah. But do you really want to hold him for that long?
Nah.
Maybe. I think you can cut and run now with little to no impact. If you want to hold him, fine, hold him. And I think holding him is not necessarily a bad thing because it's always going to be positive cash gain. But I'm very happy trading him. I don't, and especially with a guy that's 102k. So obviously, how I do that, I'm going to trade him here, and I'm going to sub Scott from my forward line into the midfield, which is good because I can now regain a mid forward swing because I didn't have one. I'm going to get Waterman in as the guy there. Waterman. I'm going to throw him forward. That gives me 114k. Now, if I do that trade now, I probably won't play him on field, but that 114k means a lot to me because I need about 600k to get Oliver in either next week or the week after. Now, I definitely know already that if Lockie Jones plays next week and he's going to be playing the week 3, I want Lockie Jones in. Now, what's that going to mean? It means that I'm going to have to trade Jordan Clark. Now, let's just do this as a example.
Hypothetical, yep.
Hypothetical. Now, this is not assuming that the cash that we're actually going to gain this week from Clark. So Clark plays, even if he gets a 70, he goes up 20k, 30k. But we're going to get in Lockie Jones. Now, unfortunately, he's 139k. So if we do that.
So you're hoping to have...
Let's say I got 280k.
So at least 285 to 290,000 in your bank.
Right, exactly right. So then what I need like 305k approximately to get... Actually, no, I think it might be a little bit lower. If we have a look at...
Are you thinking Goulden? Gone?
No, definitely will not be trading Goulden.
Well, 300k. Who have you got for 300k?
Or maybe Jordan Gould. I don't know. No, it will depend a lot on this week's progression. There's a couple of players that I've got in mind, but I might cut him early. Now, it's probably not a good idea to cut someone like Golden early, mainly because his scoring power. So if I can avoid it as much as possible, and look, it might be 2 weeks.
If Goulden doesn't go that well this week, though, he is cut for you.
No. I think I've got 2 weeks because even if Oliver with his break even, and I want to bring that up because this is an important consideration.
160.
I think it's 186.
No, it's 164. 161. I was closer.
Okay, you're right. So if projected score is 115 with a loss of 20k, so he goes down to 590. Now, really, what I want is if I get a 110, 105, 110 from Oliver, that's perfect. I can do that. Bang. I only need like a mid that's like, I can get power from that, really. So there is other ways. Now, remember, I'm replacing an on-field midfield rookie. So, yeah, one of those guys is going to have to go to the bench anyway. And the only 2 guys that I'm playing on field and midfield are Golden and Powell. Actually, there will be another one. Oh, and Berry.
Yeah, Berry.
So what's the points gain on that? So it's interesting because, look, I don't necessarily want to – I definitely don't want to trade either of these guys early because I think especially Powell, the way that he played last week, and I'm hoping that role continues for the next couple of weeks. He is definitely going to make enough cash.
Well, Anderson and Pollock are out for a bit, so that could help.
Yeah, absolutely. Golden's got a break even of 35 though. Like, is he going to make... I think that he could definitely spike his score. Even last week. I mean, if you watched him last week, he kicked 0 goals, 3. Like he's got the potential to bang that 100 out again and then reignite his cash gen, blah, blah. He could probably be a guy that's worth, say, 400. But if he gets the 350, are you really losing that much money? Or are you better off getting the points from someone like an Oliver or a Steele or like a super uber premium?
Yeah, going for overall, there's it's not.
It's aggressive.
Yeah, but it's not a bad
aggressive
thing. Like even right now, I'm looking at I can get in Oliver and the points that he generates me this week. Is that better than me sitting for a week to do nothing?
Right.
Just because I'll get a little bit more cash.
Right. Now, I mean, Warner is a guy that I just haven't made enough money from. So I'm not even, not Warner, Campbell.
Yep.
And Warner's a guy that if he continues his run the way he's going, he could potentially be an F6. Now, or at very least, a guy that you just trade out at the buys.
Yeah, and the reason is Sydney have the last buy. You can run them for the buy like 1 and 2.
Right.
And then as he has his buy, perfect time to get rid of him.
So
there's a lot of points there for overall to keep Goulden, to keep Warner, to keep Campbell.
Absolutely.
And Campbell has a high ceiling. He's just butchering it a bit, but if he keeps his role, he could chip away and do it.
So I'll release this a little bit early. So I have a very distinct plan into how I'm going to do this. Now I've personally made the decision that Zeeble and Impey are going to be season keepers. Now that allows me to spend 4 extra trades on my team to upgrade during the season, which is why going down to Waterman now and then doing a down up, one down, one up next week, I'm spending 3 trades on an upgrade to an Oliver. Now I'm going to be doing the same with a Steele, and then it sort of neutralizes after that. Those are the 2 uber premiums I want. I'll probably need to do it again with Danger because I think he'll probably still be around that. I'm hoping he gets down a little bit. But I'm happy to use those extra 4 trades to still upgrade my side, but to the Ubers. Now, my plan is I'll get Steele and Oliver before the buys, and that works in my buy structure. I will also then get potentially Neil, depending on if he picks his season back up before the buys. If not, it'll be at the buys. But then round 1, it'll be Danger. Round 13 will be Dusty. And then round 14 will be Marshall as my last upgrade. No, actually, I lie. Sorry, round 12 will be, or 13 will be Danger because it's a week after their buy. Dusty's the second buy, I think.
Second buy. Marshall's
14,
the last buy.
And then Marshall's last buy. So my last upgrade, forward upgrade, will be round 15, which is the week after. Now, that will complete my entire squad. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Oh, and Whitfield, whenever he comes back. It could be around. I can get him before, after, doesn't matter. But yeah, it's really dependent. So that's my plan: Steele, Oliver, Danger, Whitfield, Neil, and Marshall. Those are my only targets that I'm looking at trading in. And because the extra 4 trades from having Zimble and Zeeble and Impey, I can afford to do that instead of just always taking the cheaper option. That's my plan. Cool. That's it. What do you think?
Zimpy and Evil.
Zimpy and Evil.
No, I think it's interesting. When you're going for overall, you need to be aggressive and hope for some luck. And I think you're in a prime spot to actually start being aggressive. And even with my side, I think looking at trying to be aggressive, it's a balancing act between cash flow and points on field. Mm-hmm. And for overall, you need points on field and you need luck. So sometimes you need to cut early and you need to make some decisions.
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said about saying going in Oliver early and playing. Now I'd be playing, say, 14 premiums plus Taranto versus a guy, teams out there that only have 12 premiums or even 13 premiums.
Or 11 and I'm about to be 12, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you can.
Oh, but you're including Impey, Zeeble. Yeah, see, I don't include Impey, Zeeble.
I'm saying I'm not including them.
Okay, right.
So right now I've got 13 premiums, right? So without Zeeble Impey. So you got Lloyd, Ridley, Houston, Short, Doherty 5. McRae, Mitchell, Laird, Walsh, 4, that's 9. Gawn Grundy, that's 11. Dunkley, 12. Taranto's 13, right?
Yep.
If you add Zeeble and Impey, that's
15.
15.
Yeah, 13
if you
and
add
2.
Oliver,
15.
now you're going 16 premiums.
Yep.
You know, so you're going very heavy against, and the average scores this season, early in the season, are very high. Like if you look at as a guy that's 320th. So I'm still 200 points behind the leader. But average score per week is 2,236. Like that's pretty damn high for this stage of the season. And it's because of guys like Impey and Zeeble that you've got in your forward line to be able to elevate those scores. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Yes. VC and C, you got the same?
Yep, absolutely. McRae and DeGorn will be my... well, depending on the loophole options that present.
And if your loophole fails, are you just going straight up Gorn or...
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't think there's any problem with Gorn this week anyway.
No, me either. I think that wraps us up. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, see my team, Chris's team, what we're planning, and also our weekly pod as well.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you very much.
Catch you guys.
All right. Bye.
Bye.